here in the Niner locker room with Niner rookie kicker Jake Moody. And, hey, man, first week, 3 for 3. You got to feel good about the way it went, huh?
Yeah, feel pretty good. I had a rough preseason. I think it was, long term, just kind of looking to the rest of the season. I think it was a good thing to kind of go through some adversity, early, just learn how to bounce back from it. So, feel good now. Feel, ready for the rest of the year, whatever might come, and just going to keep doing the best I can.
How much do you think you benefited this summer from having a veteran like Zane there every day? I mean, you could ask him any question you want, and he could impart any wisdom that you needed. It was a competition, but at the same time, it's nice to have a veteran, I would imagine.
Yeah, no, it was great having Zane here. He was awesome the whole time that we were both here. We were talking today about how much we miss having a second kicker. Just a great guy.
Yeah.
Great kicker as well. Been in the league for a long time, so he gave me some tips and tricks, to playing in the NFL. And I miss him, but he's going to be on to big and better things, I guess. And he's going to have a much longer career than he's already had.
Let's go back to your first kick. They jumped off sides and they blocked the kick. And I almost felt like they might have done it. I mean, first of all, they called a timeout. I don't know if it was to ice you or not. Did you look at that as, hey, they're trying to ice me?
No, I think just with the situation, I think they were trying to block the kick. It was 4th and long. If they were offsides, nothing would come of it. So, I think just situational-wise, like they were trying to say, hey, go after this one. I don't think it was as much to, mess with me.
Okay, so then they blocked the kick, and you when you got that kick blocked, you pretty much knew they were offsides, didn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, you could see it was your front side. Does that ever, have you had that situation? Does that ever bother the mentality of a kicker? Like sometimes guys will, like in the NBA, let's say, guys are shooting a free throw or they'll try an extra shot, and some guys will block their shot even if it's like, in a timeout, just because they don't want to see the ball go through the bucket. And I could think maybe defenders may feel the same way about kickers. When they block that kick, does that change? How do you block that out and not feel that their presence on the next kick when it actually mattered?
I mean, I trust our line and everybody in front. So if they're getting that far back there, obviously they're offsides. And if I know they're going to stay on sides, which they did the next play, we got good enough guys blocking, to where nobody's going to get even close to me. So that's not a worry for me. And like you said, I could see them clearly offside. So, I just tried to kick it as hard as I could into the dude's stomach,
Right.
Let him know, don't
do that again
next time.
Yeah.
It's whatever. Just move on 5 yards closer. Thanks for the nicer, shorter field goal, and just go on and make the next
I'll take
one.
41 instead. Wishnowski's your holder. What have you imparted to him about what you like and how you like the ball set up for you?
Whatever he did the first day I came here, it was exactly how I wanted it. So, it worked out. He didn't need to change anything. I didn't need to tell him to change anything. And, just from there, it's been really smooth.
Now, where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Northville, Michigan.
As a Wolverine fan, or?
Yeah, I was a Michigan fan growing up.
Were you? So, had to be a thrill. What, Harbaugh recruit you? Who came to the house?
Coach Harbaugh recruited me for a few months. It was pretty late into the process, like my senior year.
But that was a big deal, though, when he showed up at the house?
Yeah, I mean, it's Coach Harbaugh, he's a legendary football coach. So
sure.
That was pretty cool.
Do you do anything special, compliment your parents, or try to sit there and eat dinner with you, or what can you remember about the visit when he came?
Well, he never actually came to my house, but he came to my school, and he talked to all the teachers, took pictures with all of them, and everybody was loving
excited.
It. And so it was cool.
Where'd you get the nickname? Is your nickname really Money?
I mean, I never
call yourself Money. You don't have a chain that says Money or anything.
No, I don't do that. But a couple years ago, I think somebody that runs like a podcast, like at Michigan, they kind of coined the phrase. Just from there, people started saying it, and I guess it kind of stuck. I gotta actually, continue to be Money. I can't
Right.
start sucking and then all of a sudden the nickname doesn't mean anything. So
How much of your game is mental? I mean, obviously you got a booming leg and you can kick the crap out of the ball, but how much of it is mental?
I would say a lot more than it is physical.
Really?
At our position, yeah. Depending on the situation, it could be 50% mental, 50% physical, or 100% mental, 0% physical. It's tough position, especially when you're sitting on the sidelines for a majority of the game and you're called upon a few plays. I think I went on the field 6 times last game.
Right.
And those 6 times, if I'm not doing exactly what I got to do, and I mess up, everybody sees that. As opposed to all the other positions, you could mess up one of 50 plays, you don't really notice it too much. But I say it is a big mental game, I guess. Just trying to stay locked in and make the most of those little opportunities that you get.
Does the criticism, if you do struggle, bother you, or how do you block it out? I mean, I've done like on-air work for 20, 30 years, and still, man, it's like, if I get super criticized, it bugs me, and I can't pretend that it doesn't. Can you block it out, or does it bother you if you get, because you're in as you just described, a position, everybody sees it, everybody knows if the kicker succeeded or failed.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that mentally, or how do you deal with the struggles if you do struggle?
Yeah, I mean, it's what I signed up for. Like, I know that it comes with being a kicker. You can't avoid the criticism if you miss, and I just try to ignore it. I know that the average person that's telling me I suck, they couldn't do what I can do. Sure, yeah. So that's kind of enough for me to just be like, I don't really care what these people say, but
that's a good mentality.
Yeah. So just kind of block it out. Don't worry about it. Just keep doing what you've been doing your whole life, and it'll work itself out.
Matthew Wright was here, and he had experience kicking at Heinz Field, and there was all this talk going into the game about Heinz Field as one of the more difficult places to kick. Mm-hmm. When you and him had a chance to practice together and talk about kicking in Pittsburgh, did he impart any wisdom to you that helped you on Sunday at all?
Yeah. Well, he gave me more so tips on like the field surface.
Right.
Thankfully it was the first game of the year, so it was still, relatively nice, I guess. But especially with them playing high school and college games there the days before, the field can get pretty chewed up. Yeah. So he said, by the end of the season, it's all just green sand. It's not even grass. But thankfully it was first game. It was pretty nice. We had very nice weather, not too windy at all, and it was a good first game to kick in.
Last one you kicked in the Big Ten, man. So obviously you kicked in the big house, 110,000, 108,000, whatever it fills. But the the Big Ten is freezing. I mean, the weather there, our winter weather here is probably their weather now almost. What's it like kicking in the Big Ten? And was there a spot that you can remember where you're like, man, this is hellacious? The wind, the weather, the snow, the cold. I mean, if you can kick in the Big Ten, I almost feel like you can kick in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, that's an advantage of, growing up in Michigan my whole life is, I've dealt with hot summers, I've dealt with freezing cold winters, and, trying to keep kicking throughout the year when you're in high school, it's tough, especially when there's, 6 inches of snow on the field. So, you go shovel it off and learn to kick in the snow, but, it's good to have, dealt with all that weather stuff, especially for away games, in the NFL. Like if we were to go to Green Bay late in the year, it's nothing that I haven't dealt with before. So, it's good to have had that experience, and just kind of roll with whatever you have. That's just my mentality. Is just go out there, do the best you can. It doesn't matter what the conditions are. Just go make your kicks. Yeah, don't overthink it. Last one on Robbie Gould, actually, because I know you talked to Robbie a little bit after you were drafted. I mean, talking about Green Bay, I mean, the guy obviously made some big kicks in the playoffs there. What did you get from a guy like that who was an 18-year veteran? He was a super wise guy. I mean, in some ways, if I was a young kicker, I'd almost pay that guy money to answer my calls just so I could kind of bend his ear and find out what he knows. But what kinds of things did he impart to you when you guys got a chance to talk? And do you still get a chance to kind of converse with him from time to time? Yeah, I mean, I haven't talked to him in a little while. Should probably reach out. But you know, he more so like just having a guy that's there for me. You know, maybe if I'm going through tough times or if I have any questions about something besides football. Because at the end of the day, he's not going to change, you know, how I kick, but you know, more of like the mental side of it, and you know, maybe life outside of football. I feel like he has a great grasp on that. Obviously, playing in the league for as long as he has, so you know, he's just a guy that, you know, I can go to and call anytime, and you know, he's kind of showing me that. You know, he can be like a mentor to me if I want it, and you know, I really appreciate that from him.
Hey, congrats on a great week one. Good luck this year.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Jake Moody.